politicians and religious leaders on Tuesday, the 23rd of September, joined a rally outside City Hall, which was organized by the Arab American Association of New York and other groups to criticize the display ads sponsored by a group run by Pamela Geller, who writes a blog criticizing Islam. Known for her public criticism of the Middle Eastern religion, Ms. Geller, president of Stop Islamization of America, paid $100,000 for ads that will appear on 100 buses and at the entrances of the East 59th Street and Columbus Circle subway stations featuring American journalist James Foley, who was beheaded by ISIS, the radical Islamist group. One ad shows the man some suspect of being Foley's killer wearing headphones and a tracksuit. The ad reads, "Yesterday's moderate, today's headline." The campaign, scheduled to run for 4 weeks, was paid for by Geller's group American Freedom Defense Initiative. These ads suggest that Islam is inherently violent and extremist and call for the end of American aid to Islamic countries. These ads are equating Islam to horrific groups like ISIS, said Linda Sarsour, executive director of Arab American Association of New York. We all condemn the actions of ISIS as terrorists who are committing acts against innocent people. Another ad shows a 1940s photo of Adolf Hitler talking to a pro-Nazi Palestinian leader under the words, "Islamic Jew hatred, it's in the Quran." Ms. Geller said on her blog that the ad campaign is only designed to increase awareness of the nature and magnitude of the jihad threat and put an end to the denial and willful ignorance about the threat. Our ads are no more bigotry than resistance to the Nazis was bigotry, Ms. Geller continued. She also criticized the rally on her blog, saying, "Why didn't these Muslim groups call a press conference to institute programs that teach against the ideology that gave rise to the Islamic State?" When Buddhists, who are usually known for their peaceful outlook on worldly matters, become intolerant, something is very wrong. And in Myanmar, many Rohingya Muslims have had to flee their homes after a wave of attacks by the majority Buddhists. The Rohingya Muslims are now even more stateless than they ever were, some of them being in exile in India. Many of these people trekked for days with little food and water and at great risk to their lives, being smuggled across borders by traffickers, only to find a life of destitution and discrimination in India, the country they had chosen as their refuge. When Kohinoor, who is one of these stateless Rohingya Muslims, fled her home in Myanmar, she hoped for a chance to rebuild her life in a new country. We were chased out of Myanmar. We were chased out of Bangladesh. Now we are in India. The people here tell us that India is not our country. So where will we go? She asked. This lady was sitting in a makeshift tent on a patch of wasteland in southern Delhi at the time she was questioned. "We don't have any land of our own. Our children don't go to the government schools as they refuse us admission. When we go to the hospital, they don't admit people from our community," she said. Though the Rohingya minority had lived for generations in Myanmar's western state of Rakhine, the largely Buddhist government passed a citizenship law in 1982 which excluded them, denying them the identity cards required for everything from schooling and marriage to finding a job and getting a birth or death certificate, effectively making them stateless. Hundreds died in communal violence between Buddhists and Muslims in 2012. In the last 2 years, more than 86,000 Rohingya have left Myanmar, fleeing for fear for their lives, to countries such as Thailand, Malaysia, India, and Bangladesh. Following the story that we brought to you last month, we are now announcing to our viewers that ex-Archbishop Joseph Wesolowski has been arrested and will be put on trial. Wesolowski was papal nuncio to the Dominican Republic, where he is alleged to have committed many acts of pedophilia, some of which were paying for sexual acts performed by young boys. His arrest in Vatican City represents a historic move by the Roman Catholic Church. 66-year-old Wesolowski is now being held under house arrest for health reasons instead of being incarcerated in the Vatican prison, which is attached to the court there. The Vatican said in a statement that the arrest reflected the wishes of Pope Francis, adding that such a grave and delicate case be handled without delay, with the just and necessary rigor. After the Wesolowski arrest, His personal computer was confiscated, and over 100,000 images of young boys have been discovered on it, showing the contempt this man had to keep these images, thinking he still had immunity from prosecution because of the apathy that the Church has shown in the past. While he remained at the Vatican, regardless of being defrocked and his diplomatic immunity revoked, many had called for his immediate apprehension to prevent him absconding and becoming a footnote in this cult's history. However, Pope Francis, the first non-European pope in 1,300 years, has vowed zero tolerance against clerics who sexually abuse children. Last May, the Pope called such abuse an ugly crime and likened it to a satanic mass. The former archbishop faces only 12 years in jail for having inflicted a lifetime of misery.